Hi, I'm Casey, and this is Adolescence, a conversation between gas and EVs. Today, I'm going to talk about the biggest misconception when it actually comes to EVs today, 2025. Everyone, I've heard old people say it, I've heard young people say it, they're not ready. Infrastructure isn't there. The last time I was in a cab when my car was getting its 1 year service, and I'll probably do a little bit of a video about that. Really, not much to talk about in an EV for its first service, mostly inspection, if you change your own filters and wipers, that sort of thing. It was just there mostly as a sanity check, if you will, preventative maintenance, but nothing actually went wrong in that first year. But getting back to the topic at hand, which is the infrastructure, everyone says the infrastructure isn't there. This really is only relevant if you will be road tripping quite frequently. And in the event that you do, I wanted to tell you a couple things. Most people's reservations about range anxiety comes about 2 years before they actually decide to purchase an EV, because I think in that last 2 year stage, when you've kind of convinced yourself that you want to go ahead and do it, you begin to get more serious and pragmatic about the information that you're finding. One of the best, two of the best resources online for people, even before you have an EV and you want to get used to and see how route planning works. A better route planner and plug share. The better route planner allows you to simulate routes and use different vehicles to see how far that, if you put in the specs for the vehicle, where you'd have to stop. And PlugShare is pretty much the biggest database of public charging infrastructure: fast chargers, slow chargers, AC, DC, you name it. If you have a charger, you kind of want to be in PlugShare. That being said, using these PlugShare figures, if you look at the very fastest chargers, I'm going to call these fastest chargers anything from 90 to 350 kilowatts. There's plenty of manufacturers. ABB makes some 180 kilowatt models. Kempower makes some great models, and Electrify Canada does the big 350 kilowatt chargers. You also have your first gen chargers. I'm going to call this anything that's really 50 to 90 kilowatt hours. I'm really happy that Flow started the transition. Flow allowed the first big network. So if you were going to DC fast charge, you use the Flow network. Even though it only charged at 50 kilowatts, it was fast enough for the first gen of cars. But now, in the last 5, 7 years, we have up to 350 kilowatts en route between where I live here in Charlottetown, PEI, and Halifax, Nova Scotia, which means most of the chargers now are ahead of the cars, today's generation of cars, which can easily do more than 200 kilometers and more. My one stop range would be closer to 350 here in the summer, 300 in the winter. And before I travel that complete distance, there are fast chargers. You can hop that distance between fast chargers. The biggest thing that you'll find now is that the chargers might not be exactly where you want to be on your road trip. So in my case, on my first trip that I did, I stopped quite early, and I decided to stop. The battery was only at 40%, which means I did not get anywhere near peak. But my next charge was around 15 or 20%, and I did see the peak charging rate. Um, what else are we going to say? So if you look at plug share and you look at the quantity of 100 kilowatt to 350 kilowatt chargers that exist now, and EV drivers who are doing these routes, I've taken my car from Charlottetown to Halifax in the winter. So if you ask an EV driver who's doing these routes, you'll see that you almost never have to wait. In my experience, the few times I've done it, I never had to wait, especially at the Electrify Canada stations. They have about 8 stalls, and what you're actually seeing now is in Masstown, Nova Scotia, which was one of the most favorite EV stops for early EV adopters, because it was just at the height of the Cobequid Mountain Pass. So you actually go up to the top of this mountain pass, and then you go down and you lose range like crazy when you're going up, but you regain it on the decline. Either way, so first I was wondering what would happen at these charging stations as they expanded. Well, they left the 50 kilowatt chargers, which is actually great. If you want to stop and have a meal, do something slower, take some time, you actually don't want to charge the fastest that the car can charge. So they left the 50 kilowatt chargers in place, and they added 180 kilowatt chargers next to that. And I can see in the future that they'll just be adding faster chargers next to those, and you'll have the option to choose the speed that matches the kind of stop that you want to make. So EV drivers are not stopping and waiting at these DC fast chargers. You can absolutely drive all around Atlantic Canada in the Bolt, the Mach-E, the Ionic 5, the EV6. Um, so EV, I just want to say the infrastructure is ready. It's there. It's up to the people who want to adopt now to actually drive the vehicles and put their money where their mouth is, and to reward the manufacturers who've given us the ability to drive green. So next time, just come back and we're gonna have another discussion here with adolescents. The conversation in between gas and EVs. It's named adolescents because this is a bit of a transition time, and of course, dollar cents, dollars make sense. Let's follow the money. So until next time. Before I go, one more thing. Also, check out my short article on my blog that I wrote just covering this topic. You can take your time, go through it, find some links as well, and we'll see you next time. Let's stay connected.